Okay, I'm sorry for the slight confusion here. Something came up like a block on my screen, and I had to walk away and see what was going on. So, I'm back. This is Circle of Grace 1, my own channel here on YouTube. I'm the host, Chief Principal Teacher, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and this is my opportunity to share some insight about different things that I know. I've kind of put this out to the subscribers, but I'm also going to go back and kind of drop it out there for people who may be watching right about now. Um, and some people don't know I'm broadcasting because I don't really announce it. And it's one of those days. I just lost my phone. It's not really lost. I cut the ringer off. So I tried calling it using my Skype number. And it'll just show up. I'll just walk across it at some point. And pretty much just trying to chill for today. I think that's why I'm unable to uh, connect with my phone. And that's the way it is right now. So let me just let other people know that I'm broadcasting and not doing anything else. And so this is where I'm at right now. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening. I'm unable to report where I am at right now for some reason. So let me just tell this person how to find me. So I'll find my phone later. Always something, I tell you. Seems like the older I get, the wilder things get, the funnier things become. So I am definitely on here, just wanting to come on, give some information. I know you should try to be more, as people say, regular, but I'm not a regular person. So I come on as I kind of see fit to come on. And basically, what that means is I follow what my ancestors tell me to do. So they've been on me all day, very quietly, telling me to come on live right about now. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Um, I'm going to do something called numerology, dreams, and more. And this is going to get some information out connected to my book, and also just connected to things that are needing to be said. It's very interesting, and I try not to place myself in a position where I'm having some kind of debate. But I was reviewing one of my TikTok videos I did recently. Actually, I did last year, I think. And someone had a question. I was explaining the question. And then this person comes on who doesn't have any videos up about numerology themselves. They were trying to dispute what I was talking about without knowing who I am and what I've been doing and for how long. And people assume when you put something up on social media, um, it's their right to come dispute it. Well, maybe, maybe not, especially if they haven't been doing it as long as I have. A lot of people come on and they say, well, hey, they've been at it 5 years and 10 years. They know what they're talking about. Well, I've been doing it 48 years, and I still make mistakes, but I follow a basic system as well as utilizing some other methods introduced to that system so that I can relate information to my clients that makes sense. And so I know sometimes when people come on things like TikTok, why? Because who's going to challenge them? Who's going to, ask them if they're right or if they're wrong about what they're doing? Well, it's not going to be anybody there. And so I believe in coming on and dropping information that will help most of the people. I'm not going to say that it's going to help everybody because the information I put out there may not help everybody. And so I do what I can to release this information so people can have it. As far as I'm concerned, as much time as I put into all these things I've been doing, I know what I'm talking about. So I don't have to be concerned if someone else is uncomfortable with information that I put up. Um, our ancestors already said if you haven't been through the windmill, the chopping block, and a few other things for years and years, striving to put this information on, then sometimes you can't worry about it. As what this comedian Cat Williams says, there's going to be haters. People are going to be hating on you and hating on, and sometimes they don't know why. Most of the time, people are doing it because you're doing something that they are unable to do, and so they're in their corner of the world doing what they're doing while you're more out front, and they figure because you're out front, um, they should just go ahead and attack. And it's going to happen. So, and I'm a very sensitive person. So sometimes I find myself responding emotionally when I really shouldn't. But if you find this information that I'm going to talk about tonight on point for you or your friends, please like, share, and subscribe. Put it out there to other people to join. Now, it's hard to say when I'm going to come on because I kind of come on when the ancestors say to do so. It just so happens that I'm on Sunday night. Sometimes I show up Monday night. Sometimes I pop up a Tuesday, Wednesday, a Thursday, even a Friday night. So if you want, you can share this out with people right now, people in your group to see if they want to join in and listen. If you have any questions, hey, Rose, if you have any questions about numerology, I'm going to answer them for you. If you'd like a mini reading on the month, day, and year that you're born, I'll give you some mini insight. And the other reasons for coming on is when I'm on Lloyd's show. The show is 45 minutes to an hour long. Sometimes we go 75 minutes. Sometimes we go 90 minutes. And I know there's a lot of people in queue. I'm quite sure he's had up to pretty close to 200 people in queue on Instagram, as well as his YouTube channel, as well as coming through one other channel. So can't talk to everybody all the time. So I've decided to kind of come on when I can. And if I've missed you and if I haven't read your information before, and I may have from the first or the second time when I was on this show, the third time was in July. So if you want a little insight, you could pop your question out. I believe I got a pen. I'm still looking for my phone. Can't find my phone because the smart guy here decided to put it into silent mode or ringer off. So there's no way that I could see my phone. It's probably looking at me. I have a black top table, so black screen is probably looking at me, and I don't see it right now. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is numerology is being looked at more and more every day in the same line with astrology as a metaphysical science, okay? Because it's going beyond the physical. And the more I meditate, and meditation is one of the things I enjoy teaching to other people as well as doing myself, is that we are a frequency of numbers. We are an infinite flow of numbers. Um, and these numbers represent ourselves. We might just use the numbers according to the letters of your name, or we will use the numbers according to the month, day, and year that you're born. Astrologer will use the numbers according to the degrees between planets within your sign, your natal chart, your solar progression, other progression types of charts. And so numbers are very important. And the more you study numerology, the more that you can apply it to yourself every day, the stronger the information is going to get for you, the more understanding you're going to have. And so, those of us that do this, from King Simon to all the other people Lloyd has touched with this numerology, all of us find, and even I was doing it into about 14 years prior to meeting him. I just needed a buddy, and he was it. And so, numerology, I like to teach it with a lot of joy, a lot of laughter, and a lot of fun. One of the reasons for that is we remember things faster if we make it jovial, we make it fun. Your memory kicks in a lot better, as opposed to the information coming out like a sledgehammer, and you having some difficulty. So, Rose, you're the first one on here. Peace and blessings and grace to you, and I'm going to take a look. I don't really need your time, but we'll play with the time as well. You're born at 5:17 a.m., and 5:17 is a 13. In numerology, that's a Scorpio number, and Scorpio is a fixed water sign. That number would tell me that you would have a certain degree of intensity. Your sun sign is Aquarius, okay, and you're born 131. You're born 131, 1988. One of the things I want to let you know, and this is what I've discovered over the years, especially in my first 14 years of doing numerology, I would see the double digits at the end, like the master numbers. But they're master numbers to themselves. However, you have the governing number, which is the first two digits to the left. So those first two digits to the left are the 19, and they govern the century that you're born in. So you're born in the 1900s in 1988. The governor is 19. Now, the double digits, and this is for all double digits, whether it's double zeros all the way up to 99, what I find is that people change their mind often. They don't mean to create an issue with a partner, business, romantic, or marital partner. It's just that they have a lot of thoughts racing through their mind. And with all these thoughts racing through their mind, their daily obligations, their responsibilities, their family obligations, their work obligations, the social and community level, and beyond, they are going to change their mind. Now, this tells me that they're not flighty people. You're not a flighty person. What that tells me is that you're digging deep for truth. You're digging deep for information. And you're striving to understand how to put that energy, that information in motion for yourself. So that's one of the things about the double numbers. Now it's 8 and 8. It added, it's going to produce a 16, which is a 7. But I said the governor is there, and you have to add the governor number in. Okay. Now we have to add that to your 31, your birthday number 31, and you're born in the first month. Now that tells me by those numbers that you're born under the sun sign of Aquarius. Okay. Now the 31 is a very powerful number. 3 plus 1 is 4. It's also, the 31 is the 13th, number 13 in reverse, right? And you're born 5:17, and that adds to 13. So you look at it between 5 and 6. You're born on a number that adds to 13. Then your birthday number 31 in reverse is the 13. People born on the 31, we see those individuals as being whole and complete with themselves. Why? Because they have the ability to go deep into their own thoughts, and go so deep into their thoughts they're able to pull out every detail. that pertains not only to their life's experiences, but the people in their lives. This 31 adds to a four. So it's in the series of the four. And the fours and the sevens, numbers that add to four, seven, and eight, are what I call the old soul numbers, which means you kind of been here before. Wisdom came with you in the day that you were born. Okay, you knew something about life and people in your earlier years, and you're bringing that information forward right now. So you're very strong in that information. And so you're going to see to it that people acquire information that you can feed them that helps them. Now, the information that you're giving to people is the same information that you utilize for yourself, right? So it gives you a sense of self empowerment. Now, the 31s aren't braggarts. They don't brag about what they do. They set out and do it. 31s are similar to people born on the 16th. Like Lloyd is a 16th, I'm a 16th. We don't share too much information until we digest it thoroughly. And then we go seek other information and pair it together and see how that fits. And then we might share it if it makes sense. 31 people, such as yourself, born on the 31st, you're just like that. You're not going to share a whole lot of information. It's not that you don't want to share the information, it's more like you want to share something that makes sense, that's practical, that's down to earth, that someone can utilize, you see, because you want to be able to utilize that information yourself. You don't want to like willy nilly put it out there because let's say if you were a metaphysician, a medical person, or a Western doctor, or Eastern doctor, and someone was coming to you and you holistically, and someone says, "Well, I studied this and I studied that and I've applied it myself and it's not working." And you might say, "Well, it takes a little more than that." You might ask the person, "How was your day lately?" Okay, when this particular abrasion popped up on your skin, what was happening in your life maybe about 6 months prior to that, or 6 weeks? Now, the person might ask you, "Well, why would you ask that?" And you would say, "The thoughts and the feelings that we have, when they're not thoroughly worked out or in balance, they show up in the body. They show up in the organs. They show up in the bloodstream for sure. They show up in the other fluids in the body. Then they show up in the muscles, the joints, the tendons, the nerves, and so on and so forth, right? So they come in and you find yourself or that person struggling with a thought or with a feeling that may be painful or hurtful. And so they don't know what to do with that energy. This is important because when an individual is seeking information from you, you're trying to make sure that the information is correct and it's going to be helpful. You're just not putting it out there any old kind of way. You want to make sure that they can get the information. That's important to you. So that's the nature of your 31. Plus, as an old soul personality, you are the person who's thinking deeply. So you want to make sure that whatever I tell somebody, when I get home and I go to sleep, I could sleep because I didn't give out any misinformation. So this is something that is extremely important to you. Now you're born in the first month. So individuals born in the first month, I notice, as well as individuals born in the 10th month in the particular calendar year that we're using, are, are for the most part self-sufficient. Yes, for the most part are self-sufficient, very independent, creative, mental people. So at times they can live on their own. Like if something happens, a family member passes away, and they're not even 19 years of age yet. somehow they will connect with an older person. They may stay with that older person, but at some point they grow up really fast. And by growing up really fast, they learn to be self sufficient and on their own. Now, sometimes when that happens, that is kind of wearing them out a little bit because they don't have necessarily a partner in place or a good friend or a family member to assist them in some of the things that they're doing. So I would say that you have gone through your life and you're still early in your years, right? You're roughly, you're 34. So, but you've learned a lot in the 34 years on the planet, and you're a seasoned, I would say, like you're a seasoned veteran of life already. So you know how to do certain things for yourself. You know how to reach out there and assist other people. That's, highly important for you. Now, here's, hey, yeah, I've kind of put this out to subscribers because if I kind of leave it wide open, I'm going to have 30 million people on here and I can't talk to everybody. So, what I'm doing is giving some insight to your date of birth because many of you sometimes come on Lloyd's show, and I've been on there and we can't get to everybody. So, this is a unique way to, you didn't miss much. I was talking about. Rose Jefferson's date of birth. So I was able to get some information out to her. And that's what some of this is about. I want to touch people whose birthday information I didn't get to. I just have one more or two items to do here. And now I'm going to add up Rose's birth date and we're going to see what we come up with. Well, she comes up with the destiny number. When we add the birth date up vertically, we get the year 2020. So that's a significant time frame, 2020, right? That's 2 years ago. So you might ask yourself, Rose, what was I doing 2 years ago that was of significance, of importance to me, spiritually speaking for myself? Were there any changes that I made in my life? That 2020, now there's two ways to reduce it. I could drop the zeros out. I have the master number 22, but 2020 together is 40. And 40 is a number of purification. So you may have gone through some changes during that year where you started to shift the way you thought and the way you felt about everybody and everything around you in your life. Now, also, the 22 means coming out of that number that you're in this life at this point to take all the dreams and all the visions that you have and do your best to turn them into some kind of reality. No more dreaming, turn them into reality for yourself. So let's say you thought about, okay, I'm a fashion designer. Well, now you're a fashion designer, but now you got to make clothes for models, okay? Or you're going to model something yourself, or you're going to plug into Brooklyn Fashion Week. You're going to get up Harlem's got a fashion week, right? If you're living out east, okay, or wherever you might be, you're going to plug into these different fashion weeks. You're going to connect with various models and various photographers. So you start getting your work out if that's what you're doing. Let's say you were a chef, you're going to do that. You're going to open up a cafe, or you're going to go work someplace where you can be seen, where you can practice the craft of cooking, the art of cooking. So this is that type of year, that destiny year. Now, the thing is, let's see what you're doing right now. Okay. Let's see what your current status is. 2022 is a six. So right now you've entered another master number, which is the 11 and 2. Yes, your thinking changed. So the master number that you received from January 31st and on this year of 2022, you entered an 11-2 personal year. So this is the time to partner up, gather all your dreams together, try to figure out what is it that you want to do, and find better systems or create systems for yourself so that you get more things done. Okay. If you want to partner up with different people on projects, then that too means get into the details about a person's background. Are they good with their credit? If maybe that's not it. Are they good with just being on time? Can they articulate themselves? Can they communicate well with other people? Are they good listeners? Are they able to work in a team setup or format? That's something that you would be doing. But the two says you're going to have to be very particular. That's going to be important. So that's the information for you, Rose Jefferson. We have on here that stepped in here first with some information was Latonda, and then after Latonda is Lavette with your birthday, and I'm going to do my best to get everybody. I'm just going to give my take on the time. I'm not an astrologer, but sometimes I like to play around with um, how numbers fall into place. So let's see. We're going to make sure we got the right digits in the right place. And then we have up here Latanda. That number 23, that's a very powerful number. One of the things about the number 23 is whatever you might be going through life, you're able to make a shift and turn events around to your favor. 23 are either survivors of an incident, good or bad, things that go on, or they the ones who thrive. So 23s like to have a mental challenge. If someone tells them that they can't do something, 9 times out of 10, they're going to learn how to do it, but they're going to do it better than what other people expect from them. 20, when you say the number 23, you say 20 and then 3. So the compound number, root compound number in 23 is 20 in that series. Anybody born from the 20th through the 29th, they have the compound root number 20. And that number talks about transformation. It talks about rebirth. It talks about doing things differently, looking at themselves differently. So you would do that. Now, that 23 also tells me that you're also very sensitive to words and how those words feel to you when they're said to you. So your feelings go into them a lot. So you can be somehow very emotional. Water emotional and fire temperamental emotional. So if someone says something to you the wrong way, it's not that you're going to take it wrong, is you're going to actually see the real feeling behind their words. So, in other words, someone can't lie to you, Latanda. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's your parents, any children you have, any siblings that you have, any friends, coworkers. If they say something, you're going to know exactly what they mean by the level of sensitivity energetically that you're feeling behind the words. And that's how you can tell if a person is being truthful to you or not. Now, you're born between 5 and 6 p.m. This is just playing around with numbers. The 5 and the 2. Okay, 5 is a communication energy, but 2 is partnership, water energy. 5 plus 2 is 7, so it's kind of a water influence. Now, I'm not saying this is right, I'm just looking at numbers within the time that you're born. And since it's born toward the evening, we're going more like midnight. So your thinking and your feeling goes pretty deep, and you analyze deeply. You go really into a background. You could have made an excellent detective. You're born in 1973, and 1973 produces a 20. Okay, and that birth year produces a 20, and that's also transformational. So you're all about change. Now, if we were to take these numbers and add them up vertically, as I'm doing right now, you get the year 2004. We add that up, that's a 24, which is a 6. And what happens with that 24 6 is very unique. If I add that 24 6 to your birthday number, Latanda 23, which is a 5, we get the number 47, and 4 plus 7 is 11. So you get a master number that's in there, and you just had a birthday. Okay, so we add the 8 and the 23 gives us the 31, and we add that to 2022, and we come up with 2053. So you're in a one personal year. This is all about new starts and new beginnings. So whatever you're welcome, Rosa. Whatever you're striving to do, Latanda, it's all about change, but taking care of yourself. So it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. It's about taking care of yourself and getting the things that you need for you that make you happy. And now the one is a solar number, so it's a fire number, and you're a earth sign person. So you can get upset, but you know how to bring it down. You know how to bring your energy down. You don't let the fire flash out. You create laser beams because you're number 23. And 23 people, like a 24 person, is thinking all the time. All the numbers are thinkers, all the numbers are feelers. But I have a feeling that you are thinking all the time. Often, Latanda, when you go to sleep at night, you're more awake than asleep. You're not always getting a full night's rest because at some point you wake up in the middle of the night, at some point, and you start thinking about what went on in the last couple of weeks. Then you start thinking about what you want to do tomorrow. Now, you might, let's say, go to work, you might have your own job, or you might work for somebody else, but your mind is still on other things that you're striving to accomplish that are beyond the everyday thing of I got to go to work or I get up and go in my office in my home and do things. Yeah, that's right. You remember why? Because the mind is more relaxed. So then, all the ideas drop in, and then you start going, okay, this is what I got to do tomorrow when I get up again, or I got to do this in a few days. You're constantly doing things. And maybe what you might find sometimes, since you're born in the evening time, so what I notice, and this doesn't have to be true with everybody, but people born after 12 p.m., 12 p.m. on, they get more work done as the day gets old, right? After sunset, they're still working as opposed to people who are born in the morning time. Now, I'm a morning time person, but as when I got more into the numerology, started doing more, I started shifting and getting more work done in the evening time, the latter time when it's quiet or before the sun rises. I'm like the vampire. If the sun comes up, that's too much. So I know to go deep. You're like that. So you get up, you write down the thoughts, then you go back to sleep. Sometimes you write down other thoughts. You might be an early riser, but Latanda just for a moment, and then you're back off to sleep. Because you've realized over the years, you get a lot of things done. So you're in that one personal year. And that inner number for you right now is very potent. Your angle of destiny for yourself allows you to go deep, see, and pull all kind of information. See, there you go. That's the way it happens. Some of us work better at nighttime. Why? Because everybody else is asleep. My late mother used to say it's like the frequency at night is clear. Like you go outside and it's quiet. So mentally, while others are asleep, the airwaves, the spiritual airwaves are quiet. So you can get in that zone, write your paper, work on other things that you're trying to work on, come up with creative ideas, creative recipes, all kind of designs, inventions. You might write a book after this doctoral program when you're done. You come up with information. Now, 23s is a part of the 5, 14, and 23 series of numbers. And 5 vibrations are youthful in appearance. They can be old on the page, but youthful in appearance, have a very long life because they do a lot of things. They like being around younger people. Children probably can excite you because you remember those days very quickly and you move accordingly. Another thing that I see here in your birthday, you're born in the eighth month. People born in the eighth month, that's wisdom. People born in the eighth sign, which is Scorpio, that's wisdom. So Leo's born in the eighth month, and Virgos like yourself born in the eighth month, you carry and possess a lot of wisdom. And during that first 28 years of your life, that eight says that you probably were attracted to elders. So you might have been around some elders who were talking a lot of stuff, and it was good information for you to hear because you were tuning to life. You're learning about life's lessons through the elders who were talking around you. Now, some of them might have said, "Oh, this child is being nosy." Some would say, "No, no, this child's not even listening," but they have no idea you are listening. You're in another room listening because you're intrigued by life. And so people born in the eighth month or people born in the eighth sign, and this is just what I've noticed, they are intrigued with life. And they find themselves getting a lot of people around them who are like the old soul personalities, but very balanced. And 5, 23, 14, and 5, they're in the middle of the numerical spectrum from 1 to 9. So they have this opportunity to draw on all different aspects. And you have that to do as well. So you're in a one personal year right now. Latana is all about starting out fresh, bright, getting a lot of things done, and coming up with new ideas. Now, Levette, you're also uh, a Virgo person, but you're a number six, a raw digit six, single six. So when you have raw digit numbers, the single digits, um, this doesn't mean that you're let's say spirit my mother say you're not hard-headed. You just see it either this or that. Single digits from 1 to 9, when they're dealing with life's issues, they see something is either on this side of the line or on this side of the line. You're welcome, Latanda. So people are thinking they're on this side of the line or this side of the line. Single digit people aren't the fence sitters. They're the ones that want to make a decision. But see, you're number six, and number six is a Venus number. Number six happens to be a little bit on the emotional side. It's a Taurus kind of number, and it's balanced off because it's a Libra kind of number. So you're trying to balance things out. You might find, Levette, that people may come to you with disputes. Friends, children, other adults, co-workers, they want to settle the dispute, they're going to come to you. You're welcome. So people are going to come to you, Levette. And hey, L Kid, I'm going to put you down here. I'll get to you. You're right on schedule. And what happens here, Levette, with your numbers, it's a very powerful set of numbers. So you're born 9/6, 1968. So that six is prominent. Usually, six people, they can barter. They can go out in life and barter with people. They can find a good value. If you were to go buy a car, you could probably sit there looking at a brand new car with the salesperson and they're trying to sell you the car, but you understand there's some underlining things with the car. You might say, I just need it to be good air conditioning, good heating system. I don't need a fancy radio system. Just have AM and FM. That's fine. I just want to have some good solid brakes, good solid steering. If you're a person, a number six person, some number six people, they love dealing with a stick shift. Because why are they going to save more gas? And they deal with stick shift, they're going to fix their vehicle. Okay, that's what they're going to be good at doing. They're going to fix the car themselves, so they don't need all those other trinkets. Okay, now sometimes six is luxurious. Six loves the luxury. Six loves a spacious home. It loves good furniture, comfortable furniture, from the bed to the chairs in the dining room and the kitchen that got to be cushioned right into the living room. They'll like a nice soft carpet on the floor. Doesn't have to be a thick plush carpet, just comfortable, right? Something that their feet feel comfortable in. All right. So the nature of six is to have a good life, a balanced life, and a life that not only makes sense, but is also healthy, a healthy life. Virgos deal with health. Six is a health oriented number. So you're going to be looking at make sure my lungs are clear. So you're going to say, I don't smoke. If you smoke some of that medicinal weed, that's okay, but it's not going to clog up your lungs. Okay, you're going to keep your sinuses clear. You're going to keep your throat clear. All right, you're going to get out there and do some exercising. You're going to do some walking and things like that just to keep the body moving. And if you can't keep the body moving, if you can't go outdoors and do some walking, you'll do some indoor exercises. Something that's basic, something that's simple, something that keeps the body moving. That's what you're going to do. Now, also, I'm going to add up your numbers and I'm going to make sure I get this right. So, what happens is your entire month, day, and year added up to 1983, and you're about 20 years old. So you were shifted into gear trying to do some things. And that year for you was your destiny, your life path number was a 21, which is a 3. Now, 21 means you're a gatherer of information. You're putting things together, you see what you need to see, and you want to present something to the world. 3 means you have to be creative about it. 3 means you're a very conscientious person. You live on principles. You're just not here to be putting out information. You're going to make sure the information is solid and you're going to make sure it reaches the right people at the right time. That's something that's very, very important. Okay. Now, also with that 3, if I add that 21 3 destiny number to the 6, now the 3 means you can use some other things. If you're good with art, if you're good with music, you could teach it or perform it. Okay. You could be a creative writer and you could be a technical writer. You could be someone that's into designing things or inventing things. So you would be good at utilizing that as well. You might write children's books or recipe books, books for adults. You might write mysteries. You might write fantasy oriented, romantic books. 3 is connected to that. But that 21 means it's always jam packed with wisdom. So you're not writing something just to be writing. There's a lot of philosophy in there. There's a lot of words of healing. There's a lot of positive quotes. The characters are unique in the book. They like kind of stick on the readers, okay? Now we had that 21 3 to the 6. This is very interesting. And then I'm also going to tell you, since you just had a birthday too, what personal year number you are in right now. And I need to make sure that I get clear with this. Okay, so this is unique. Your destiny number is a 3. Your personal year number, 9, you're born on the ninth month, 6th day, you just had a birthday in 2022, that produces a 3. So that intensifies things. What I want you to do is be careful with how you express yourself with your emotions. If someone, agitates you, you got to think like, do you want to display your emotions or do you want to keep them under wraps a little bit? This is saying don't let anybody get you into petty arguments. Those things could throw you off base. Okay, so you got to be very, very important with that. Now, this kicks off this 3 personal year. Now, the way my brother Lloyd does it, he takes you back through the whole year, but I do it differently. So, your birthday just happened, right? It just happened 12 days ago. So, it goes from September 6th, 2022, all the way to next year to September 5th, 2023. That whole year right there until you turn another age, that's where your personal year number is. So it matches your destiny number. So that's unique. So that means you're here to get things done. Be as creative as possible. Explore writing, explore music, writing books, writing poetry books, writing books that give out information to young people or somehow get into the lives of young people. Or You might like photography, study art appreciation, things of that nature. Or just get some simple rest for yourself. You don't have to be all over the place, just get the rest. If I add that destiny number 21, which is a 3, to your birthday number 6, that gives me your angle of destiny to make that work is a 27. So be very thorough and be very detailed in the things that you enjoy doing, Lavette, and go all out. Make sure what you do is on a humanitarian scale. Okay, let me drop over here to L Kid. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out for you what your personal year number is, L. We're going to, because you just had a birthday. Your birthday wasn't too long ago, so tonight is the 18th. For you, where you're at is the 19th. All right, and then you had just these other dates. So when we add this together, this is very powerful. You entered a 31, which is a 4 personal year. Well, let's go with the number 26. Your birthday number 26, and plus you were born in the eighth month. So the eighth month means you have the wisdom of the elders around you. You gathered a lot of information while a young person, and you took that information that you learned from your elders and you simply immediately applied it into your world. Now you're born on the 26th, eighth month, 26th day. 2 plus 6 is 8, but that 8 is different, right? Because the series of the 8 is the 8, the 17, and the 26. 26 people are the most jovial people in the world. They like to laugh. That's important. They can be serious, but they laugh. They can gather wisdom, but they gather it so it's fun to them. You could have studied archaeology if you wanted to. You could have studied anthropology. You could study business. Business fits well for you. You could go into language interpretation. So you can learn more than one language. You could write it. You could teach it to a lot of people. So this 26 says you're like a minister of education, right? The 26 also, 6 is justice, law kind of, Libra kind of energy. It's also a Taurian energy. 20 is a Scorpio vibration. So you might attract Scorpio people to you, but you will attract Scorpios who got it together, you see. The Scorpios who don't got it together, who don't have it together, you're not going to be drawn to them, L. You're only going to be drawn to the ones who are wise, the ones who have the wisdom, the ones who understand the energy, the frequency of the soul. That's what you're going to do. Plus, when you're doing meditation, which you're doing right now, because you and I discussed this, when you do meditation, it clears out the psyche, it clears out the soul. It makes it so the soul gets brighter with energy and you get swifter understanding. So with this 26, this means that you're going to take it to the highest heights. You're not going to work on little levels. You're going to go as high as you can, and I would suggest that you take your time reaching for these golden nuggets at these different levels because the higher you get, the more compact it gets in some planes of existence in the spiritual world and the metaphysical world. So you want to make sure that you're not overburdening yourself. You're not creating hurdles for yourself. You're allowing yourself plenty of room to do what you need to do so you have a greater understanding. Now, this is also very unique. 31 is a composite, complete kind of number in itself. 31 means, like the 30, you go deep, you contemplate deep, then you meditate on the jewels that you find, and then you go deeper. Okay? 30 and 31 birthday numbers do that. Now, also, because it's a 31 and 3 plus 1 is 4, 4, any birthday numbers they add to 4, 7, or 8, these are the old soul numbers. That means you come on the planet with wisdom, you gain more wisdom, and you're taking wisdom with you, and you're accumulating the wisdom. So when you were, let's say, younger, you had a feeling, you had a way of connecting with others, and you're going to do that again. See, so went back 9 years, 9 years ago from 2022. That would put you in 2013. So in 2013, you were actually having a lot more breakthroughs. That's why you can have breakthroughs now, but they were more potent in the beginning. It may have felt like a little bit of confusion going on in your world, L, because that's when you had some of the breakthroughs. If we go back from 2013, 9 more years back, that would bring us what to 2004. So 2004, you had some major breakthroughs going through, but you may not have been as strong. So you got another shot every 9 years, and that's what's going on. So this is going to be unique. And by the way, um, if you look at L, EL in numerology, E is 5 and L is 3. So without you even knowing it, you chose you chose to pick those, shorten your first name down to L. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So you're always about wisdom. You're always about gathering information and putting it all together and then sharing it with the world. Eight, 8 people can be eccentric at times, but you're not the only ones. Other people who can be equally eccentric are fours and sevens. Okay. And the compound numbers, as they get stronger, in the seven, it's the 16 and the 25. In the four, it starts with 13, 22, and 31. And with the eight, it's 17 and 26. Those compound numbers are really go deep into the world of the metaphysics, the spiritual, humanitarianism, things of that nature. They're always striving to pull information and bring it to the forefront. So, until some more people come on and talk about numbers, I want to talk about significance of dreams. We can always go back to numbers. What is important here? Many of us have dreams. Where do these dreams come from? I mean, we have them. We've had dreams since we were children. Where do these dreams come from? Why are we having these dreams? What's the significance of these dreams? Over the years, and I've been involved with the study of numerology for since 1974, but I've been into dreams before that. And this is some of the things that I found out about dreams. I used to think, who is giving us the dream? And so, through some deep thinking, people would say, well, dreams are on high. Well, high what? Did I get drunk and then have a dream? Did I smoke weed? Then I had a dream? Where is the dream coming from? There's a part of us that dreams all the time. We're in this so called physical world. And there's a time when we close our eyes to go to sleep. But what's happening is we are still living our world from the waking state, crossing the border into dream world, dreamland. We still are experiencing life. It's not two separate realms, they are together. Old medicine people and shamans around the world, ancient to the modern, many have said that when you go to sleep and you dream, or you have what is called a dream, it may become a vision, but nonetheless, you are experiencing something and it is real to you, just as real as when you are in your waking state, your physical awake state. The shamans, the medicine people, aboriginals always say your soul is traveling through various time zones or dimensions. Your soul is another way of saying your higher self, that part of you that's plugged in to the divine world, divine mind, spiritual world, spiritual mind, metaphysical, you name it. It is the one that's having all these additional experiences, and it is the one that's gathering the truth so it can relay it back to you, or let's say back to oneself in the physical world. So we are the soul. We are the higher self. We just took on a physical form to have a life's experience in this place called the earth. Let me get a little sip of water. Now, we're often going there while we are physical bodies at rest, at sleep. We're going there to find out some information. We're going there to find out how to deal with everyday issues, different personalities, loved ones, romantic marital partners, or we're dealing with our everyday work issues, or we might be dealing with health issues. So we notice that at some point we may experiencing a time when we can awaken. And as we awaken, then we begin to see. We begin to experience. We may not be sure, we may not understand everything, so it takes a little while. But we know that we are describing it like a dream. But if you talk to someone else who's really into it, who studies dreams or may have it naturally, then you find out that a person such as yourself is the one that's in another dimension getting the information. So think about that for a moment. You go to sleep at night or during the daytime, or you take a nap, you sleep for a long time, and then you start having what is called a dream. And the dream might repeat itself. Usually, when dreams repeat themselves, that means you're being given a second or a third or a fourth or a fifth chance to figure out what in the heck is going on in your life. Or maybe there's something that's eating away at you and you need to really look at it. So, if anybody has any repetitive dreams or just something that you can pull out, if you want to give me a further scenario what your dream is, you can always email me at iam dot circle of grace with the number one at the end at gmail.com, and I will analyze your dream for you to give you some insight. Lots of things help us figure out the dreams, describe the dreams. Some of those things are colors. Colors may tell you something about an astrological sign that's around you, or it may tell you that's that astrological season when it comes in. Maybe that's when this dream materializes more. Numbers appearing in dreams could tell you uh, number of days, weeks, or months that something may occur in your life. Now, again, if you know something about numerology, then you can use numerology, the meanings of the numbers to interpret. Let's say you might see the number 16 in there, and then you see the number 14. That might tell you, hey, you're going to come across people born on the 16th, the 15th, or the 14th. You're going to interact with those people, and they're going to release some information to you, or you might have some difficulties relating to them. It can go either way. But there's so many different elements in the dream that it actually builds and builds and builds and builds. Just in general, if you were to see buildings in a dream, just in general, look at the building if you can remember it. Was it an old building? Was it a new building? In general, buildings are how we think. Are we going to think spaciously because it's a big building or house was tiny and compact, or we're thinking limited? We're just limiting ourselves with our thought processes. Sometimes babies in a dream, physical babies in a dream, can represent brand new idea, just getting started. Or maybe in the dream, we kind of remember it's just before dawn, just before sunrise. So it's very subtle. It's something that's just happening, but we have to give it time to let it unfold itself. Maybe it's nighttime in a dream. Nighttime might represent critical thinking is needed, or it's an emergency situation that is imperative that you figure it out right away. There's so many different ways to analyzing dreams on health, financial, materialistic, your homes, residence, places, jobs, cars. All these things play an important part. Let's say you were in a car, not necessarily your own, but you were in a car. Where were you in the car? Were you the one driving the car? Were you in the front seat but not driving? Were you seated directly behind the driver or directly behind the front passenger? All those positions mean something. And if you find yourself in a dream scrunched up between two people, that means you're not comfortable in a particular life situation that's going on. Maybe if you're the driver of a vehicle or the pilot of a plane, you're the main person, or you're on the train, that just means you're willfully taking control of your life. You're the power figure in your life. But if you're in the front seat as a passenger, that means you're willing to give control or let someone else think for you or let someone else guide you. If you're seated behind the front passenger, you're really giving up your power to somebody else or to others. And if you're seated directly behind the person steering the vehicle, then hey, you're trusting them to lead you. You're giving all your power to them because you're seated directly behind them. These things mean something. They always do. We just have to find out how the symbols in the dreams are connected. There's universal meanings, then there are particular language that we have to pay attention to. That's strictly for us. That would mean something totally different to somebody else. So that's why I always say, and other people say, start to create a dream journal. Because when you create a dream journal, then you're figuring out the universal language of the symbols, but you're looking at your particular meaning for those symbols. But what means one thing to you is going to mean something totally different to somebody else, depending on how they're related to that particular symbol in the dream or a series of symbols in the dreams. Also, when you're writing down your dreams as best as you can, eventually you become more detailed. You become detailed in terms of how a person is dressed in the dream, how you're dressed in the dream, you know, the environment. You might see a clock on a wall, you might see a newspaper with a date on it. All those things play an important part in the dream itself. Often it's good to write down the day or the evening you had the dream, the time you went to bed, the time you awakened. If there was a time that you can remember when you had to get up and relieve yourself in the restroom, bathroom, you could write that time down. Now, sometimes Researchers have said the first 30 to 60 minutes, you're just trying to get comfortable in the bed. And that's truthful. You got a clock by your bed, you might see the clock and notice you thought you were asleep or rested for over an hour and it was just 10 minutes. So it some time, takes time to get adjusted to the pattern of sleep. Here's something else. Usually the first 60 minutes is when you're fighting rest. You're trying to get that position in the bed where you feel comfortable. Maybe you're on your back, maybe you're on your right side, your left side, maybe you're laying down, stomach first, and then have your head turned to the side. So there's going to be a lot going on. Maybe you have a life partner that you sleep with. Two of you got stuff going on, and you make each other comfortable, right? Now, another 60 minutes or so goes by. Now you're in that 2 hour range. By that time, the heartbeat has slowed down, the brainwave level has slowed down. You've gone from what we call beta to alpha. Beta is more active, alpha is more psychic range. That psychic range is something like, I believe, is anywhere from 8 cycles per second brainwave level to about what they say 13 or 14, right in there. That's that alpha range. That's when you're really getting in there and you could be going through the REM state. REM state is rapid eye movement. It means your eyes are closed, but your eyes are darting back and forth underneath. Rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement is when one is having the dream experience. The dream experience may last anywhere from a minute or less to 2 or 3 minutes in time. This is when you're seeing things in the dream or vision that you're having. You're having your experience. Now, sometimes we got to get up in the middle of the night and relieve ourselves. And most of the time, when that happens, not everybody can fall back to sleep, fall back into the same imagery that was going on, usually lose it. If it's meant for you to be in touch with it, you will fall right back into it without losing any step, losing any moments. And that's pretty much because you're thinking. You got up, and not only are you thinking, but the feeling that was going on within the dream scenario stood out to you the most. So you were able to go back into that zone with that feeling and trigger it again. Our dreams are very important because they come from the higher self, the most spiritual side of ourselves. That is the one that is gathering information and may gather that information within this galaxy, within ourselves, or go to deeper worlds, other dimensions, and gain information and bring it back so that we're consciously aware that we came back with the information. That has always been the most difficult part, is to be able to come back with that information in hand, in mind, in heart. So, yeah, you want to be able to keep a journal, a diary about your dreams. Why? Because your higher self is trying to tell you something of importance that it wants you to pay attention to. It may bring certain people forward that you deal with all the time, or it may bring people into your life that you have no dealing with. Nonetheless, it's giving you a heads up. Now, you might be the type of person that wants to have a dream, that wants to go deeply inside yourself to have a deep remembrance of another lifetime, or parallel lifetime in a multi universe. You want to experience it. So you'll do whatever it needs. You might read some books about it. You might find a way through the books to trigger it, the experience. You might trigger it in your meditation. You might command yourself or tell yourself through your meditation that you will begin to remember your dreams. But not only that, you'll become awakened consciously in your dream and know that you are physically sound asleep. So when you do that, then your dreams speak volumes. When you could walk or awaken in the dream, know that the body's still at rest, then you're on to something. Then you're getting ready to make some changes in your life. You're getting ready to figure out things that are going on in your world that you didn't have enough time to figure out during the daytime. So now you're going deeper and you're looking for ways to find that information. And you will find that information. You have your guides, you have other ways of contacting. Maybe you come to a realization that the angel vibration is you. After all, you are a vast God and goddess kind of energy. You are talking to yourself, all of yourselves. Medicine people have always said, oh, someone in the tribe is fragmented. Someone in the tribe is, their mind is all over. They're giving their partner an issue. They're giving the tribal village an issue. So the medicine man takes them where they need to take them. And they go deep. And he does the rituals, he creates the herbs that they may have to drink. Why? To bring them into a state of awareness, take them into their dream world. And the medicine man may travel with them into the dream world and can help them see clearly what it is they need to do or what they have already done successfully and how they can bring that information into the current world in which they live. So when we start having dreams, we have a lot of potent, powerful, spiritually, metaphysically grounding dreams. And it's good to study dreams in other formats. Get as many books as you can and really delve into it. Why are we dreaming? Well, I'm going to sign off. I've been on for about an hour and 12 minutes. Somehow I hope to do this again. Maybe try to do this on a Sunday. Uh, I was supposed to have a client and then they had to cancel out. So it allowed me to jump on and do this. I want to thank all the people from Latanda to Rose Jefferson to El Kid to Lavette that came on and that joined me. Thank you so much. Again, my email address is iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. If you have any questions, any insights about dreams, one day I'll put out a book about dreams too. How we could look at dreams, how we can utilize our dreams to get more things out of life. But that's not the next manuscript. The next manuscript deals with meditation and the different aspects of meditation and how we can use meditation to connect with our higher self. So I don't know if that book will be out in 2023. It may come out in 2024, but it's going to come out nonetheless, and it's going to help a lot of people. Well, my grace is your grace. Tonight was September the 18th, 2022. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Thank you for joining me this evening. Maybe next time I'll open it up to everybody. Be well.